Hello, my name is Duncan Grant and I work for Base7booking.com. I'm going to show you our booking engine, which is what the clients will use, and then I'll show you the property management system, which is what the hotel owners and staff would see and use every day. This page, however, is where we were born. Le Bourg 7 is a small boutique hotel in Switzerland, and this is where we tested the software for 4 years consecutively before we even released it to the market. I'm going to show you our booking engine now. This is a sample booking engine, it's a demo, and you would have your own logo here. You could have it defaulting to your own languages up here. We could add more languages very easily to this. And you can just go ahead and book several days and then find a room. And you can see, click on the I for information, and then check the pictures and read the description of the room. And if that's okay with you, then just go ahead and book. You can then change the number of guests. You can add names if you're booking for someone else. You can say, I want a taxi to pick me up. These are all configurable options. I want a massage on arrival, and I want breakfast. And this will change the price automatically. Add the room. Go ahead and book now. You can add more rooms if you like. I can just upload a bunch of information here and then just validate this. And as long as I can agree with the terms and conditions, I click here and send that reservation. Now I will be receiving a confirmation email regarding those reservations. Going over to the property management system now, the PMS, I'm just going to log in, and I see that I have created reservations here for myself, Grant Duncan. I can just click on them and then confirm them, and the color will change to a solid color, meaning that they're confirmed. The color coding on this at the moment is based on room. Also change the color to source, and since I booked this on the website, the source is shown as dark red. I can split my reservation should I so wish, to maximize occupancy, to upgrade, and so on and so forth, just by clicking on the scissors here. I can block rooms for several days for maintenance purposes, should I need to do so. And just save that, and that will be blocked for maintenance now. I can check the calendar going back 1 month, going forwards 1 month, display this in weekly form, create a new reservation by hand, just by clicking and dragging and going through the process here. Since I'm already added to this, it will pick my name up. So let me just pick this up, and then I go through the entire process of what type of source, whether it was a phone-in, whether it was a tour operator that sent this to me, and so on and so forth, and fill out the details, and you have a new reservation created by hand. Very simple. You have the complete number of guests staying in the hotel here, the physical number of guests. You have the total number of rooms available. If you click on this, you'll see the total number of rooms available per type of room, singles, doubles, and lofts. And if I click on the dollar sign, you'll see the actual rack rates that we're charging at the moment. If I go to today and make sure that my room is clean, see these toilet papers here, we can just click on one of them and make sure that's clean, and therefore now I can check myself in. So I just go along here and I click on checked in. Going back to the calendar now, I'm checked in, and I can click on my reservation, which is highlighted here. These post-its pop up and you can pin them. You can see various reservations at the same time. And I can see that I have my reservation up here. It has not been paid, so it's in red. And I've already received an email, which is the confirmation email I mentioned to you. Now going down here, I can actually pay. I can add extras before I pay. I can say that I consumed, let's say, wine from the minibar and that will default a tax rate into the calculation, and I can just add that to the reservation. You'll get a green bar at the bottom, which signifies that I have added something material to this reservation. And then I go to payments and taxes, and I just pay with Amex and the full amount. I can split these amounts if I like, 1,000 cash and the rest Amex and so on and so forth. I'm just going to pay the full amount and add that. And now you'll see that this has turned green because it has been paid in full. If there was a deposit here, it would be orange. What I can do now is create an invoice. I click on Quick Invoice. I make sure that the details are okay here. For example, if it's not street and it's avenue, I can change that over here and just click on OK. To generate an invoice, I can skip the printing and just generate a client copy in English. I can choose the language as well. And you'll see your hotel logo, the details of the hotel, the details of the client, the charges, and the tax at the bottom. And once these are created, as you can see now there's an invoice number here. I can then send an email to the client based on one of our templates saying thank you. I can choose the language, and I can add the invoice to this thank you. I can also edit. If we ended up on excellent terms, which is something we all hope for, we can just treat them on first name terms and then send. And now I will be receiving a second email with a thank you note and the invoice. Going back to the PMS, I can search clients just by typing in their names, and I can pick the latest one here, and I can add nationality in here, I can add passport numbers, I can add date of birth, and so on and so forth. Date of birth is interesting because if you go to the Today tab, you can see whose birthday it is, and even if your clients are not at the hotel, you can easily send them a template happy birthday email to keep them in mind of your hotel. You have your occupancy rate here, you have your average price, you have your revenue per available room, your RevPAR, and you can see at a glance who's checking in, who's staying over, who's checking out, as well as creating a very handy housekeeping report by clicking on What's Up Today. So you can see the housekeeping report, stayovers and departures, as well as a dining report in case you have dining capabilities in your hotel. Carrying on, we were on Client tab, and the Account tab, for example, is when you have companies that send you business. For example, Coca-Cola. You want to be able to split the invoice to Coca-Cola for the accommodation and the extras to go to the clients. You can create that here. Then you have the history of the latest reservations, which is a snapshot of who has paid, who owes you, and how they booked into the hotel. The source here shows you website, system. System would mean a manual input, and you would also have your channels in here. You'd also have booking.com, Expedia, and so on and so forth. Statistics. Very clearly you can see all the types of payments you've been using, tourism tax if that's applicable to you, and then the yearly data. The yearly data is very interesting because you can then graph it. You have your room turnover by month compared to last year, compared to the years before. You have your board turnover, whether they've had breakfast or full board, and the extras, which is minibar, spas, tours, and so on. We also connect with a POS system called Icon2, which is completely integrated into the system. And you can graph this, as I said. You can compare this to the prior years, as well as seeing how your turnover has evolved by source type, by whether it's the website that's bringing you more business this year compared to last year, there were more walk-ins, etc., and so forth. And the same thing by type of room. You can see which rooms are most profitable here. and you can also have an occupancy graph. The daily reports go into far more detail for exactly those things. You can have the capacity, the occupancy, the total turnover by type of room, by mini bar, and you can also see how your revenue is evolving on a month to date, on a daily basis compared to last year, on a month to date and a forecast month, on a year to date and a forecast year based on available reservations. You can also track where your clients are coming from. If I just go back a little bit in time, and we can then graph this, and you'll see that the darker the country shows up, the more popular it is in terms of your guests. And we have it broken down in here as well in a pie chart. You can go into accounts. You can see all your taxes broken down. You can see all your invoices. You can highlight all of them, send them to your accountant. You also have an audit trail of everything that has changed on any reservation. Anything that is material will be tracked here, and you have the invoice log, and also track your debtors in unpaid reservations. In settings, you'll be able to control everything in here, and it's very, very easy. You upload pictures, you upload the types of invoice you want, the format of the invoice that you want, and it will all be extremely intuitive. If I highlight these areas, you can just type in the details of your hotels and so on and so forth, add the logos, and extremely, extremely easy to do. You can control users here, you can control your seasons, the accommodation, you can have restrictions on the accommodation, sort of minimum through, maximum stay, minimum stay, and so on and so forth, as well as controlling your base price, your rack rates for each type of room, and doing some yield management on them on a daily basis. Just change the pricing using the batch price. And we're nearly done. I just wanted to mention a couple of things on our help page. We have a full knowledge base which describes everything I've done and more. You can contact support directly from here, from our PMS system, which saves a lot of time in writing emails, attaching screenshots, and so on and so forth. If you have a problem with this particular page, you can just type along and then click on this and send it to us, and we will see it immediately. And being a Swiss company, we're also very democratic. So we actually have a forum, a community of all our hotels around the world in 25 different countries, and you can vote what we will be doing next. So as long as your idea is a good one, then people will start voting for it. Other hotels around the world in our community, which you can speak to, will start voting for it. And once you have enough votes, then these will be put into production. I hope that was useful to you. If you have any questions, you're welcome to get in touch with us through our webpage. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.